Please give a great warm welcome to Brandi Vaughan.
Yeah, I thought it was going to say. Hi, everyone. That there. Oh. Thank you for joining me today, and thank you for listening. And I want to thank Brian and Life West for allowing me to speak about a topic that is probably one of the most pressing healthcare issues we face today. Oop. Is the clicker working? Okay, sorry about that. There we go. All right, pharma, vaccines, and you. I'm here to tell you today how everything that's coming through with the agenda for vaccines and how it's going to affect you and how we're going to stop this. A lot of you have heard about the mandates. One of the reasons I'm so excited to be here in front of you today is because I am among a very friendly crowd, a crowd that is fighting on the front lines of health in this country, trying to make this country a better place. And I'm among a lot of people who are probably called crazy as much as I am. And that's awesome, because you know what? We are crazy. We are crazy enough to think that we can change the world. And we need to. And we are going to be the ones who do it. Every single person in this room is here for a reason. We are the ones who have that mission, all of us. We are the army that this world needs so that we see better health and our children have a better world. In fact, this is why I'm here today. I'm crazy for this one. This is my son. And a lot of people say, Brandi, so you worked in pharma. They don't really like it when ex-employees speak out. Why do you do this? You know what? They don't. They don't play nice. But I do this for him. Because he is my world, and I want a better world for him. A world with better health. A world where we have the right to decide what goes into our bodies. Because what more fundamental right do we have than to our health? I did not start speaking out until SB 277 last year. Probably a lot of you know about that. It's the law in California now that says my son, who is 5 years of age and completely vaccine-free and perfectly healthy, cannot go to school, public or private, in this state. But this is only the beginning. I cried for 2 weeks when I heard about SB 277 because I had this feeling, this innate feeling that something was coming, that I had a big mission in this life. My mom used to say the only reason she was born was to give birth to me because I was going to change the world. She died when she was 40. I was her only child. I knew something was coming. And when I heard about SB 277, I cried for 2 weeks because I thought, oh my God, I am meant to speak out against a company that is larger than most small countries. That is, holy smokes, that's not exactly what I planned in this lifetime. This is only the beginning, SB 277. USA Today wants all parents that don't vaccinate to be in jail. Time Magazine wants all of their addresses released publicly, like a sexual predator's database. And you know what I learned in pharma? They always drop hints. If you think this isn't going to come, well, I think you might have some regrets in 10 years if you don't become part of that army stopping it. Those who have the privilege to know have a duty to act. So people always ask me, why? Why would you take on pharma? Are you crazy? Well, yeah, I'm crazy. I'm crazy enough to think I can, grow an army to do it. And I know that I was put here to do this, and I have the knowledge. And somebody's got to act. And we cannot rely on everybody else to do it for us. We have to take back our health, and we have to stand up to the system. Each and every one of us in this room. How did I get here? I worked for Merck. I sold Vioxx. Does anyone remember Vioxx? Oh, yeah, it killed people. It killed people, and Merck knew it. So another reason I'm here today is because I sold a drug that killed people, and that haunts me. So when I came back with my vaccine-free son from Europe, and I was saw this whole push for vaccines. And when SB 277 came onto the docket, I said, holy smokes, this is where they're going next. I cannot not speak out about this. My experience selling Vioxx, which I won sales awards for. 4 times increase in heart attack and risk and death. Merck knew this. They stopped a study that we were already talking about with doctors. And then all of a sudden, your materials are confiscated and you can't talk about it anymore. And if you ask questions, well, you don't get answers. It was the largest drug recall ever. $6 billion was paid out in fines. But you know what? It was still a blockbuster drug. They still made $10 billion off of it. All of those lawsuits, all of the people that died, just the cost of doing business. Profit over people. That's what they care about. We cannot rely on that system. The FDA officially said 50,000 died. Others say 500,000 people died of Vioxx in the 5 years it was on the market. And it never should have been on the market. I left before it was even pulled from market. The shadiness that was going down was too much for me. How do they do it? Well, I'm going to go through these slides quickly because Brian's threatened to drag me off the stage if I don't make it in my 25 minutes. The indoctrination starts early. You guys know this. 200 Harvard med students said, get pharma out of our education. Get them out of our professors' offices. Get them out of our curriculum. Pharma has ghostwriters. I have a friend in New York City who does it, who writes curriculum for medical schools. They write the textbooks. And you know what Harvard did? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. We have to save ourselves. What about research? Everybody says, oh, Brandy, but there are studies backing up vaccines. Who funds them? Who funds them? Pharma funds 75% of pharmaceutical drug studies. They fund pretty much all of the vaccine studies, either through the NIH or through a foundation, through the CDC. They're biased. But don't believe me. Believe Dr. Richard Horton. He's the current editor-in-chief of The Lancet, one of the most prestigious medical journals. He even says, today, perhaps half of scientific literature is simply untrue. Why? Because of conflicts of interest. Small study samples, biased. Did you know that pharma can stop a study that gets negative results and not even tell the FDA? They did it with Vioxx because it's legal. What about the FDA? They're here to protect us, right? They're the regulatory agency. They protect us from dangerous chemicals in the food, in water, in drugs, right? Do you know who was just nominated or actually put to head the FDA? Dr. Califf. Has anyone heard about this? This right here is a scandal. Even the New York Times said his drug ties are scaring people. He is the ultimate pharmaceutical industry insider. He had a conflict of interest section declaring financial support from 20 biotech and pharmaceutical companies, and he's heading the regulatory agency. His famous quote, regulation disrupts innovation. Does that scare anyone? Because that scares me. That scares me big time. We have to push back. The CDC, Center for Disease Control, is just as bad. Julie Gerberding, she ran the CDC for 7 to 8 years. She doubled the vaccine schedule. The childhood vaccine schedule was doubled in her tenure. Guess what? She got a really good reward. She went to head Merck's global vaccine division worth $5 billion. 2 months into it, she cashed in $3 million in stock options. Pharmaceutical industry, you guys know this. They create customers, cradle-to-grave customers. But us adults, you know, we're already on a ton of meds. Where's the real money? It's in the kids. And it's in vaccines. Because they have created so many diseases and disorders, they're running out. They're running out of ways to make us more sick. But they can create vaccines for all of those diseases they've already created. We are now the most drugged up country in the world. But the prescription drug market is saturated. It's full. It's overly competitive. You have 6 to 8 10 drugs per disease state, there's not a lot of room. There's not a lot of market there. And it's full of liability, the $6 billion that was paid out after Vioxx. They can't keep creating diseases and drugs and all of that. But what a brilliant market strategy to go into vaccines. That's where they're heading next for profit. And every single person in here is just another customer. And if you think they aren't going to get you, just wait. I'm going to show you how they plan to. How are they doing on their quest to keep us sick? These are some shocking numbers. 1 in every 3 men will die, 1 in every 4 women of cancer. 1 in 12 women now have an autoimmune disorder. I see it in my friends in their 30s. Lupus, arthritis, gut issues, IBS, Crohn's disease. I got IBS right after a Hep B round right before I went to Merck. I had to go to the doctor and I got a Hep B vaccine. 2 weeks later, I was diagnosed with IBS. I had hives and I got arrhythmia. There is a lot of things that are going wrong in our medical system, and vaccines are a huge part of the problem. All of these things on here, they're considered side effects of vaccines. Have you seen the vaccine inserts? I don't make this stuff up. There are thousands of studies showing the links between vaccines and the toxins and these issues that we're seeing. It's not just the vaccines, but they're a part of it. 60 million have allergies, 30 million have asthma. These are all autoimmune disorders. Do you know, my friends in Europe, they're like, Brandy, what do you mean you can't bring peanuts to your son's school because of allergies? Like, who's allergic to food? That doesn't make sense. You're allergic to food and to air, hay fever, right? Wild animals who aren't a part of our medical system don't get vaccinated. Do they have asthma? Do they have hay fever? Are they allergic to food? Are they allergic to air? What is normal in our country should never be normal. This is not normal. And we shouldn't accept it as normal. The US has some of the highest rates of chronic illness. All of these, dementia, Alzheimer's, they're all skyrocketing. 1 in 3 people have a chronic disorder or issue. Is anyone paying attention? I know a lot of us in here are pretty darn healthy because we know this stuff. But we're the ones who have to get out there on the front lines and connect the dots for everyone who doesn't see this, who doesn't get it. That's our job, our role. And each one in here is a part of that. Our kids are even worse off. 1 in 6 kids have a developmental delay. Speech therapy, occupational therapy is one of the biggest growing career opportunities right now. 1 in 7 have asthma. 1 in 15 have seizure disorders. And do you know what happens after vaccines now? Children are going to the ER with seizures and they're being told it's normal. Parents are being told that febrile seizures are normal. That is not normal. And those are the lucky ones that make it to the ER. We have 10,000 babies dying of SIDS every year within days of vaccines. This is the first generation of kids that is sicker than their parents, and experts say they will not outlive them. What is going on? I'll tell you, medical science has made such tremendous progress that there's hardly a healthy human left. Crazy. That is crazy. And how is it happening? The Mayo Clinic. Cancer is a mutation of genes after birth. It is not genetic. Don't let anyone play that little argument with you. After birth, due most often to environmental toxins, chemicals, smoking, pollution, radiation. Autoimmune disorders, mostly due to environmental factors, same thing. We're poisoning ourselves. And there are a lot of things that are part of this picture. The air we breathe, the food we eat. We're under a toxic soup, and we have to control whatever exposures we can and minimize it. And you know what? Vaccines are a part of that. Vaccines contain those same chemicals that we don't want to breathe in. The formaldehyde that we, in the Chinese wood flooring, did you hear about that? Yeah, don't get wood floors from China, guys, because it off-gasses formaldehyde, and that causes cancer according to the EPA. But don't talk about it in vaccines, or you might get called crazy. But then you'll be crazy enough to change the world. Injection versus ingestion. Anything you inject goes straight to vital organs. Things you ingest, they go through the body's natural defense, natural detox pathways. Most gets filtered out. 99% of aluminum that's eaten, it's filtered out through the body. 99% of aluminum that's injected goes straight to the brain and then to the gut. Injection versus ingestion. This is so critical. We have to get people to understand this. Those same chemicals that are in the food and the water, flint, all of this, formaldehyde, aluminum, heavy metals, lead, all of that, in vaccines. Why is nobody talking about this? To me, that's crazy. Why aren't we talking about this? And I hope after this talk, you will talk about it. Because we need to. Somebody needs to. Because our health has taken a nosedive. And pharma's going to keep pounding us. They aren't done. So my eyes are wide open, right? Sold Vioxx, saw how corrupt the healthcare system is, how pharma is. Then I went to live in Europe for 8 years, and I saw what health is, what real health is. And I realized we have a sick care system. We're just treating symptoms. That's not health. Our healthcare system doesn't care about our health. They profit off us keeping us sick. So, lived in Holland, had my son over there, natural birth, at home, with midwives. They didn't even want to talk about vaccines with me. They asked, hey, vaccines, you want to talk about it? I said, he's perfectly healthy. Why would I want to talk about vaccines? They go, good. We don't want to either. Yes. Come back to San Francisco. 6 months old, my son is, totally vaccine-free. I go to a baby visit, but let's call it what it is, right? It's a vaccine visit. I mean, 75% of their money off the baby visits, vaccines. That's how pediatricians make their money. That's why you don't see very many of them up here on this stage. Vaccine visit. Doctor goes, oh, he needs 15 vaccines. You need to catch him up. And I said, he's pretty darn healthy. I think I'm going to pass on those. And he's like, oh, trust me. And I'm like, I used to work for Merck. I know not to trust you. And I know... and I know that I'm not trusting you with my research. I want to do my own. I want to see some inserts. He got all red in the face and like, and he walked out, right? Nurse comes in. She's like, we'll see you in 2 months. And I'm like, you're not seeing me ever again. You kidding me? Son has never been back. Perfectly healthy. No allergies, no asthma, no vaccines, no chronic issues. We have play dates and they're like, what can he eat? What? Huh? What do you mean? That's not normal. That's not normal. We cannot accept this. Fight back. I started studying vaccines after that visit, and what I saw was far worse, far more shocking than anything I saw with Vioxx. It's frightening, really frightening. Are vaccines about health? Really? Well, don't trust a lot that the World Health Organization says, but I love this slide because it talks about vaccines as a business. It's a new business model for pharmaceutical companies. A new engine for growth, a new engine for profit. And look at these numbers. These numbers, we've already trumped this. It's going to be worth $100 billion by 2018, not 2025. These numbers are 3 years old. We've had Ebola and Zika and all of these great things coming down the line. We're going to trump these numbers. So when a health organization shows a slide like this, don't you kind of wonder, like, are they really focused on health? Or are they focused on business? And who are they really beholden to? Read this slide. If you take anything away from this talk, it will be one thing. Vaccines have never been proven safe. Ever. Ever. When I was a pharma rep, the gold standard for safety testing was double-blind, placebo-based, Long-term studies. Without that, you could not get a pharma drug on the market. Vaccines are not classified as a prescription drug. They're classified as a blood and biological product. The testing they undergo is substandard, very low. They don't even put placebo against the vaccine. They put the vaccine against another vaccine and say, oh, well, they killed the same amount of people and they harmed the same amount of people, therefore must be safe. The FDA goes, rubber stamp, thanks for coming. Here you go. And you know what? They are never going to be safe. Don't fall for that, safer vaccines. They will never be made safe because there's no liability. 1986, the federal government gave pharmaceutical companies complete lawsuit protection for vaccines. No liability, only one of two industries in the whole US that's protected federally because the Supreme Court said they're unavoidably unsafe. They are not safe and they never will be. And you know what? After that law passed, this is what the schedule did. Tripled. So if you ever hear anyone say, oh, you know what, I'm fine and I'm vaccinated, if they're over the age of 5, not relevant. It's a totally different story these days. And when you hear that, be like, oh, you got 72 vaccines? They'll be like, no, of course not. Then you're not vaccinated. Come on. And you're probably not fine. So we give so many vaccines. We should have really, really, really healthy kids, right? We give 28 vaccines in the first year of life, 2 in utero. We should have the healthiest kids in the world, right? No. We have the sickest. And we have the highest infant mortality rate. 10,000 babies die a year of SIDS, usually within days of receiving vaccines, most within hours. Highest infant mortality rate in the developed world. And people love to say that, oh, it's a coincidence. I'm like, it's because of poor income. Actually, we spend more on healthcare than any other developed country in the world. Per capita, we spend more on healthcare. There's no reason for this number unless it's the vaccines. So when they talk about coincidence, I say, okay, if this is a coincidence, why do we have the first day highest death rate of newborns? It was a Save the Children report last year. We have the highest first day death rate. Well, might be because they're all born in hospitals and C-section rates. Yeah, there's a lot going into it. But we're also one of the only countries that gives Hep B. I'm tired of pharma coincidences. I'm here to tell you they don't happen. The immune system's not mature. Why so many so early? We're giving 6 to 9 doses. There's no combination studies. No brain-blood barrier. We are poisoning our children. Do you know what's in that needle? You guys do. You're chiropractors. Aluminum, mercury, formaldehyde, MSG, polysorbate 80, linked to infertility. Guess what's a big business these days? The last one nobody likes to hear about, right? Foreign human and animal DNA. But I'm going to go there because I'm taking on pharma. So why would I not go there? Why would I sugarcoat it? Where do you think Planned Parenthood's selling all those babies? Yeah. And where are the churches? Aluminum, the top one on here, no neurotoxin. It's linked to breast cancer through traditional deodorant, right? Pharma's laughing at us because they have a vaccine for breast cancer that they're developing. Guess what the adjuvant is? Aluminum! They're blatantly laughing at us. Holy smokes. We need to be out there screaming this from the rooftop. Oh, but everyone says, but immunity, Brandy, vaccines saved us. Immunity does not occur from the arm. You cannot bypass the natural immune system and inject things into the arm and have immunity. It does not create real immunity. Temporary rise in antibodies, which can last, months to years, antibodies, not real immunity. You cannot bypass the immune system and expect real immunity. It also bypasses the detox system, and that's why we're seeing so much damage, so much sickness. But, don't believe a lot that the CDC says, but this is a really great report that's probably going to be pulled off the website tomorrow. The CDC credits chlorinated water for the reduction in infectious disease. Chlorinated water, not vaccines. That's pharma. That's pharma spinning it to make profit off your health. Number two killer in the U.S. in the year 1900, tuberculosis. Cholera was in there too. Pneumonia. No vaccine programs. So if vaccines were really saving us, we'd all be dead. The best defense against disease, a healthy, strong immune system, not overloaded with toxins, from food, from water, from air, from vaccines. And this is what everyone in here needs to get everyone they know to understand. But people are starting to question vaccines, right? More people. So the pharma has to mandate them. By the way, did you notice? You can't spell pharma without the word harm. Truth, right there. Black and white. Well, in red on this slide. They have to mandate them. But they're starting with the mandates for kids, but that's not what they're looking at. They're looking at that 85% of adults that, according to the CDC, are not up to date on their vaccines. Unvaccinated. Boosters are just the same vaccine. It's one size fits all. That 85%, every single one in this room, is where pharma wants to get their next profit. But we don't like shots, right? So they start with the kids, because parents are used to giving shots to kids. And kids can be restrained and forced. So they start with the kids, with mandating the kids first. So it'll look normal to mandate adults later. No, adult immunization program. Healthy People 2020, they wanted all adults vaccinated with 130 vaccines over the course of a lifetime by 2020. They're a little bit behind in that schedule, but not far. And they're not stopping with that. There are almost 300 vaccines in development. Everybody says, but Brandy, you know what? They are not getting that needle towards me. They're not going to get me. And I'm like, do you have health insurance? And they're like, yeah, of course. You have to have health insurance. It's mandated. Boom. Then they're going to get you. So everyone in here that thinks that homeschooling is going to save you, that thinks that a medical exemption is going to save you, that thinks that I don't have kids, I'm fine. My kids are older, I'm fine. Wrong. That's what they want you to think, so you'll stop fighting. They are coming after every single one of us. And it's up to every single one of us in here to do something about it. More to come. Starts with SB 277. That's a drop in the bucket of what we're going to see. And by the way, someone really told me that I had to cover this. That SB 277 lawsuit, by the time that even gets settled, in the miracle that we actually beat pharma on that one, it's already going to be mandated on a federal level. They're laughing at our faces while we all sit back thinking that something's going to save us that won't. Our fundamental right is being taken away. And it is up to all of us. We are the army. We are on the front lines. So how are we going to stop this? Well, I used to work in pharma. I was trained by the best damn marketing company there is. And now I'm using that to help us keep our medical rights. After Merck, I went to work for Fortune 500 companies with my own marketing and communications firm. I've been doing this for years. Every piece of the puzzle of my life fell together when I heard about SB 277. That's why I cried for 2 weeks, because I'm like, holy smokes, kidding me? How did I win this lot in life? Taking on pharma? That's no longer an easy life. So I started a marketing campaign. And I'm going to tell you about that in a minute, because first, I scared you, right? But I want to motivate you, because we got this. We got this. 95% of people innately know that needles aren't good for us. We see a needle come near us and we shrink away. So that other 5%, they work for pharma, so we'll just not even bother with them. 95%, they need someone to connect the dots. That's up to us. We need to put sane, educated faces to those who question vaccines. We need to get rid of the stigma. And we need to talk about risk, because nobody will fight for their rights if they don't know there's a risk. We all wear seatbelts, right? Why? We'll just let there be a law that we have to do something in our own property on our own body because there's no perceived risk. If we don't talk about risk, nobody will fight. And Merck used to tell us 10 to 12 times people have to hear something before they'll change their mindset, before they'll question it. But on that 15th time, you got them. So every time I hear, but no, people aren't listening, Brandy. Yes, they are. We just have to keep repeating, 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 repeating. And it has to come from different sources. It can't come from one person. That's why I created a campaign with billboards. I created it with bus stop boards, Facebook posts. Grassroots effort. We're launching grassroots local groups everywhere. This is how we do it. And you know what? They may have the money, but we have the truth. We have the truth, and we have the people, and we have the passion, and we have the power. And that is priceless. So we've already won this if we get out there and fight. If we go home behind our TV and we sleep, I can't promise anything. So I started LearnTheRisk.org. It's a nonprofit marketing campaign. I take no salary. I'm doing this on my own. I need help. Because this is not a movement for me. This is for every single one in here. How many of you know kids? Right? Have kids? How many of you want kids? How many of you know kids? How many of you are adults? This is about every single one of us in here. And we have to get this. We are way behind pharma's schedule. We have to activate now. It's no longer enough to just agree. So, please support what I'm doing. You are the army. These are some of the billboards, bus stop boards. There are a ton of materials on the website. This is a platform for this movement. Please, we need support. So, we do rallies, protests. In 1 year, Learn the Risk has done 20 billboards. We've reached 15 million people with views, 3 bus stop boards with over 4 million views. That's 20 million people. We need to make it 300 million times 15. Facebook weekly reach of 1 million. Tens of thousands on the website. 10 booths at health-oriented events, major rallies, protests. And you know what? The media is watching. If you're loud enough, the media will talk about it. But we haven't been loud enough. And we haven't given them anything to talk about. The momentum is growing. But I need every single one in here to help be a part of that army. Make a difference. Please, don't look back 10 years from now and think, damn, I wish I would listen to Brandy more. I wish I would have done something. I never knew it would get this bad. Because that's where we're headed. And I see it because I worked in pharma. I know exactly what they're doing. Please listen. Because nobody ever thought SB 277 would pass either. And it did. Don't look back in 10 years and regret you didn't do more. We need voices, time. Use your money, use your voice. Be a part of this army. Please, now. We don't have time today. Don't expect someone else to do it for you. So we have under your seats or on your seats, we have information on a partner program that we just launched for a small monthly donation to help support the campaign. We have donations envelopes. And we have pens. We have volunteers with pens. Please look at it. Find it. Because every child, every family that has experienced life-altering situation because of vaccines, everyone who has died, it's for them. And it's to save everyone else from that. And that includes your families and your friends. You have no idea who is going to be affected negatively. Please, do it now. Please hand those envelopes to the volunteers that are coming around. Please be a part of this movement. Because, again, those who have the privilege to know have a duty to act. And everyone in this room needs to make a commitment today. Please be the change you want to see in the world. Please do this. The future of this humanity and this world is counting on us. And we already have it won if we fight. Please be the change. Thank you.
ברנדי וון. אם אהבתם את הסרטון הזה, אתם מוזמנים להצטרף אלינו באתר Nowhere, מקום לדעת, בו אנו משתפים איתכם את הסרטונים שיוטיוב, פייסבוק וטוויטר מנסים לצנזר. הצטרפו אלינו בטלגרם ותמכו בנו בפטריון, כדי שנוכל להמשיך ולחזק את הערוץ ולשתף את האמת על הבריאות והעתיד של כולנו.